Welcome to Alabama Care, everybody. My name is Sarah Williams, and today I have Blake Wynn with Equip Services. Blake, if you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah, for having me, first of all. And like she said, my name is Blake Wynn. I graduated from the University of Alabama and currently am the executive director of Equip.
Let me share this real quick. Okay, so I think you just answered my next question. But first thing that everybody gets asked when they move or are visiting Alabama is Alabama or Auburn.
Oh yeah, roll tide.
Mm-mm.
Most of the people I work with are Auburn fans, so I get it every day.
I'm Auburn. I graduated from Auburn Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm technically an Auburn fan this season. I was not a fan of the coach.
Well, big changes this weekend. So our big changes yesterday, so not a big thing.
We did. I was so happy.
Mm-hmm. And just so you know, my wife went to Auburn, so I get it at home as well. Yeah.
Okay. This is just because I like music. Favorite song?
Ooh, I think favorite song, I love Garth Brooks. So probably would have to go with Friends in Low Places or The Dance. Those two songs are hard for me to really decide which one.
You redeemed yourself with that answer.
Good.
Those are two of my favorites. Okay, let's talk a little about Equip. Like, what is it? The background. How long?
Yeah, absolutely. So Equip is a nonprofit, and we serve people with disabilities. We work all over the place, and we try to help them in transitioning into adulthood. We started, I guess, I was a school teacher and saw that there was great need for services in the community that I'm in. And so we currently work in roughly 25 high schools or programs, all in transition age, across Jefferson and Shelby County.
Okay. So what got you actually interested in wanting to start something like that?
Let's see, that goes way back. I used to work at a summer camp called Camp Winnetasca, and it's still in existence. It's a great place. And they had a special group of, or special session for the Exceptional Foundation to come out to camp. And the camp director at the time, her name is Linda Cochran. She was like a second mom to me and pretty much shaped my career as moving forward. Huge supporter of mine and fan. And she called me and she said, Blake, I think you would love to be here this week. It's going to be so much fun. You got to come out. And so I went out to camp to work the session as a leader, and I had no idea what to expect. In my school where I graduated, the special ed department had kind of kept to themselves and it was secluded. And so I never really had exposure to anyone with disabilities, especially severe. And as we got out to the camp, I just absolutely fell in love with the excitement that surrounded every minute of it. And so we had a great time. And I remember asking a gentleman named Chris Germany who worked at the Exceptional Foundation. I was like, are y'all open year round? He said, yeah. He said, you come volunteer. So I did, and ended up volunteering there for 2 weeks before college started back, and they offered me a job. And I ended up working at the Exceptional Foundation for roughly 5 years. And during that time, another lady who, big mentor of mine, her name's Carrie Mattia. She runs Bridgeway, and typically provides services to higher functioning autism, or individuals with higher functioning autism. And she took me under her wing, and I worked with her for roughly 5 or 6 years doing private consulting. She encouraged me to go back to school and get a degree in education. And so I did. Worked in the school systems, worked for Jefferson County and Shelby County. Ended up working up with a transition program called Project Search in Shelby County, and had a great time. All of our participants got employed when they graduated, and that was a really cool program to work for. And that's when I learned about a lot of the transition services that existed, and when I saw the need and wanted to go and work in more schools doing this type of thing. So that's what launched it, 2018.
Wow. Pretty cool story. Yeah, I'm actually very familiar with Project Search. I worked for Alabama Department of Rehab Services
Mhm.
in Montgomery for 3.5 years, around there. And I worked very closely with them because I was like their youth consultant, and we did like
Yeah,
transition stuff and from high school and
that's
basically what
great.
you're doing.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, it's very similar from like our conversations that we've had.
Yeah.
Let's see. So let's talk about some of the services that y'all provide at Equip.
Okay. Most of our services are provided in school settings. We go into high schools and we can work with a student from 9th grade to 12th grade. And we typically provide classes to help them learn job skills, life skills, or social skills. And we can do that outside of schools too. We do have some individual clients that contract with us to receive some of those services. And we have our employment services as well. And then we recently started a day program. And so we're excited to talk about that. I know we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but those are the main things that we provide.
Gotcha. Let's see. I'm gonna put these two questions together. How are those services provided? And also, how did COVID affect those services? Because that's a big question for a
Yeah,
lot of people.
absolutely. So we couldn't do what we do without Alabama Department of Rehabilitation Services and Voc Rehab. So a lot of it is a partnership with them. The students are referred once they get into school if they receive a 504 IEP, and then the counselor for that school will authorize us and we can come in and provide those classes or those services in the school setting or even outside. And then of course we do private pay as well for some clients if they need the individual services. And so we have both of those available. But of course, like I said, that partnership with ADRS, Voc Rehab is very important for us. And then when it came to COVID, we started in 2018.
Right.
So we were really getting up and running quickly, and we hit COVID and it was devastating. Schools closed down, couldn't provide services. And of course, if we can't provide the service, obviously we're not receiving funding during that time. And so it was a scary time. But what we're seeing is that we've been able to come back as the schools have opened. We were gunning to get right in there, and we're seeing more employers needing employees more than ever before. And I think that some of our students, once they've attended some of our classes, they're coming out better prepared than some of the typical students. We found one of our classes that we teach is impact of social media. Well, the number two reason when we talk to employers about why they're losing jobs is because the students either are the young adults are on their cell phones and they're on social media and they do something inappropriate. And so that class right there better prepares them just to let them know, hey, you could lose your job over this. And so I think we've seen success with some of these classes and better preparing them. And so we're excited to be able to be out of COVID and back in it, but it did hurt those first couple of years.
See, we just got a question, but it's about the day program, and we're about to get to it. So, let's see. Okay, so what ages do you serve?
So everyone that we serve falls in the ages of 14 and all the way up into late adulthood. I think our oldest client right now is maybe 62, 50, 52,
Wow.
52. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, what is the process like to, I guess, sign up for Equip look like?
Yeah, so if they're in the schools and you have a child that has an IEP or has a 504, reaching out to that Voc Rehab counselor is what we would encourage you to do to start. Go ahead and get that as early as possible so they can help provide some of those services. This is free to the school, free to the student, free to parents, and it's a great service if they are planning to go for employment later on in life. But if you want to get plugged in with Equip specifically, reach out to us at info@equipservices.org, or you can contact us through our website and we can talk more about what services you're looking for and how we can get those set up.
Okay. Okay, So let's talk about Thrive, the day program. So like what is it? What activities do you do? And then like what does a day look like
Absolutely.
for that program?
So we are so excited, and this has kind of been a dream of mine for years, is to be able to provide opportunities for individuals with disabilities in Shelby County. And I feel like that's something that's a great need. I know there's a lot of stuff in Birmingham, but it was hard for a lot of the students I was working with in Shelby County to make it that far and for working parents to get them there. And so we're very excited to be starting Thrive, which is our day program. We're located at Valleydale Church, and they've been an awesome partnership to have. When we reached out to them, they welcomed us in with open arms, and they knew that there was a great need in the community, and they're big in community, and so they wanted us here. And so we are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Our schedules change though. One of the things that we wanted to do when we started Thrive is we wanted it to be based off real life. What are we looking for as we become adults? If we graduate high school and we want to come to Thrive, do we want to continue learning job skills, life skills, and social skills? Well, yes, we're lifelong learners as teachers, and we think that I can learn something new every day, and so can anyone else. So that's what we practice. We try to do that realistically. So if we do, say, job skills in a day, we only practice that type of job skill maybe once or twice a month. We try not to do anything repetitively for a long time because we don't want it to become something that participants feel that they're just having to do the same task, or that we're just basically doing free work for someone else.
Right.
When it comes to social skills, we provide classes and we provide practice. Same with those job skills. And then life skills, we love getting to practice cooking and doing our basic needs for hygiene, as well as laundry and packing lunch for work. I wish someone would have taught me that. I'm terrible at it, but I've learned so much in the past just couple weeks since we started about just good meals to pack for myself. And so that's a lot of what we do. A typical day looks different every day, and so there's not one way to really say exactly what it is. But throughout the week, we focus on different things, and we try to schedule activities to where participants can sign up for coming 2 days a week. They could
Mhm.
choose to come Tuesday and Thursdays. Well, we don't want our cooking classes to be on Monday and they always miss it. So our
Right.
classes rotate. And so if you come on Tuesday, Thursday, you're still going to get a cooking class. It'll be
Mhm.
mixed in at some point. And if someone comes 5 days a week, you're getting a lot more, and that's great. And we love that. But we don't want anybody to miss anything. But we also do a lot of community based. That was a huge goal of ours, is to be more community centered.
Right.
Our goal is to be out of Valleydale Church almost every single day. We're going places, we're practicing skills in our community, we're meeting businesses, we're talking to businesses, we're exposing businesses to us, as well as getting
Right.
good practice. So one partnership we have is with Texas Roadhouse, and we love working with them to take our participants up there for a day. We do this, we'll probably do it once a year with them, where our participants get to practice jobs in food service. Or we might go to another warehouse and learn how to package things and learn what it's like to be around some of the equipment. And participants will tell us they want to work with animals. Okay,
Mhm.
well, have you ever been around a lot of animals at one time? Because it's
Right.
different than just hanging out with your dog. There might
Right.
be smells, there's some poop to clean up. Some dogs and cats are not the nicest,
Yeah.
and so we love getting them exposed to those things so they can tell, what, this is louder than what I can probably handle, and so
Right.
maybe this isn't the right fit. Or they get there and they fall in love with it. And then we're like, okay, this was the fit for you. And we can help them find employment in that. And hopefully they'll still continue to come with us and hang out with us occasionally in our day program. But, ultimately we want everybody to be working and being successful, because we know that that fosters better happiness and independence throughout if they're working.
Right. Okay. I have one more question and then we have questions from Facebook.
Yeah,
Um, so for the day program, they don't have to go like every single day. They can like
no.
choose.
We ask that if a participant is attending, that they come at least 2 days, and those days have to be set. So if they're coming in, it can be a Monday, Friday, it can be a Tuesday, Thursday, it can be any mix of that. It does not matter to us, but just for scheduling wise, so that when we schedule activities, we provide a lot, and we know that the fees we charge, things like that, are not going to cover the cost of this program. We're going to
Right.
lose money, and we hope to make that up in other ways through fundraising and other means. But it's important to me that we're providing the service in a fashion that parents can afford it, because it is difficult in this world of disabilities to get services. And I think the parent on average spends over $1 million on services by the end of
Yeah.
life with someone with a disability, and that can be tough.
Yeah.
We want to kind of alleviate that.
Great. I also think it's really cool that y'all have a partnership with Texas Roadhouse. It's one of my favorite places.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Let's go to Facebook. Does the day program provide services for people with physical and cognitive disabilities, or just cognitive?
We have primarily had just cognitive. We're willing to work with anyone and meet them where they are. We're someone who is going to base our services off their needs. So if they want to meet with us and talk about what they have going on, we're happy to help them and find means to make it to where they have a better chance of being successful, no matter what those services are.
Okay, I think the answer to this you already said, like right after this comment was posted, but we've had some other people join. So I'm just gonna ask again. Where is Thrive located?
Thrive is located at Valleydale Church. And so it is just outside of Hoover, just in Shelby County, right off of 65. So we're really close to 65 in Valleydale.
Gotcha. Let's see. Does Thrive only serve residents in Shelby? Does it accept Medicaid waiver payment through the ID waiver?
We have met with Department of Mental Health, but we do not accept the waiver yet. It is something that we're talking to them about. They're interested in us providing services. I know that they're under a big change with the waiver right now. And that's one reason I think they reached out to us, because of what our program is doing. I think it's a community-based waiver, community work waiver. And so they're trying to get us involved. It seems like there's a lot of red tape, as Department of Health, I'm sure, can be. So we're
Always.
working with them and trying to get through it. And we hope to eventually. We do accept participants from any region or area. They would have to provide their own transportation to arrive, though. And so that would be the only limitation that they would have. But yes, Jefferson County, Shelby County are where most of our participants are from.
Okay, I also thought of another question while you were talking. And just because I like to learn people's backgrounds and stories and stuff like that.
Sure.
I'm a sociology major, so I'm big into learning about people. Before you started Equip, were you around people with disabilities or anything like that? Did you grow up with?
So through the beginning of my life, I did not. So the first time I think I had the pleasure of meeting someone with a disability and spending quality time with them probably was around 2003 or 4. And that was the first time I got to do that. And that's when I fell in love with this world and how it works.
This world is pretty great.
It is. It is.
I also missed a question on here. What are the hours of Thrive? Does it support caregivers who work full-time?
So we are currently open from 9 until 4. We are hoping that in the near future, we will be able to have extended day in the morning and in the afternoons. If we are able to get that up and going, I think it'll be a lot better case for those who work full time. But right now it is 9 to 4 with the amount of participants we have. We have chosen to grow slowly. We're an organization that really hasn't advertised. So this might be the first time for a lot of people to hear about us, even though we've been around since 2018. And I think in the past 3 years, we've served over 1,900 students in total. And so last year alone was over 600. But we worked in the schools, and parents don't always hear about what's going on in the schools. And we're one of those people that are there. But yeah, so we started slow, and we hope to grow it, and we hope to have that extended care in the near future.
No, I think I told you this. I heard about you from someone had posted something in one of the groups I'm in on Facebook. And I was like, what is this? So I clicked on it and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, word of mouth is
Never
about
heard
the
of
only way.
y'all.
Yeah. We've stayed kind of low key, but we think we have great people, and we try to connect with anyone and everyone we work with really well, and that's kind of our MO, is that you're gonna connect well with us and we're gonna get to know you. And it is not someone we're coming in just to say a few things to you and then walk out. We're there with you.
Let's see. Someone wants to know, what are the costs?
For individual services or for the day program?
She has been asking about the day program,
Okay.
so just
Yeah.
go with it.
So our day program, just so that we could kind of set a basic flat rate and make it easy, it starts at $295 for 2 days a week, $395 for 3 days a week, $495 for 4 days a week, and $595 for 5 days a week, just to keep it real simple.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Oh, and she also wants to know for the other.
For the other, our individual services are typically provided through an authorization through Voc Rehab. So if they're a VR consumer, it typically costs nothing to the participant, and typically ADRS will provide an authorization for us to bill to. If it's private services, it's kind of a case by case to see what they need, and we try to meet you where you are. And it's something, just reach out to us and we can talk about kind of what we're looking at. If it's something you just need a one-time class, or it's something that maybe you need more extensive services, we can discuss those.
I think this was actually a question for me. Will this video be available? The start time is listed as 13. It will be. When the broadcast ends, it will always be on the Alabama Care Facebook page. So you can just go to that and you can watch it from the very beginning. Let's see. Is there a way to sign up for a newsletter or email updates on an expansion of services?
There will be eventually. Like I said, we're very small. We hope to have that. If you reach out to us at our email address at info@equipservices.org, we can definitely keep you in mind as we continue to grow and continue to add more services to what we provide.
Right. And all of the like emails and stuff will be put in the chat. So let's see. It should be on YouTube. I believe we're streaming on YouTube. Just go to their YouTube page and afterwards, and it should pull up. Let's see. Gotta figure out where I was. Okay, advice for someone within the disability community, and I've also added something like the advice for parents.
Okay.
Someone.
Honestly, I think the advice I'd be willing to give probably goes for both.
Okay.
And I think that advice would be, don't do life alone. Reach out. We want to build community, establish relationships, and find resources that benefit you and give you the opportunity to be a blessing to someone else as well.
Right.
I think so often individuals with disabilities or parents feel like they're always taking, but there is so much to be gained from a community that comes together and talks about things. Just having Alabama Care to have this outlet, which I didn't know much about until recently, and have watched a few of the videos now and fallen in love with hearing about all the things that are going on. It's so cool. And so being plugged into those things goes a long way for everyone, whether that's the individual or whether that's the family. I think just don't do life alone. Plug in.
My mom calls it finding your tribe.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that.
Does Valleydale Church have a full ministry for people with disabilities and their caregivers?
They
that
do.
is symbiotic to Equip's work?
To what work?
To what Equip does.
Oh, so they have a special needs ministry, and it's really great. And I can say that because I'm involved in it. My wife and I are actually in charge of the special needs ministry at Valleydale. And
Wow.
so we have 2 services here, and someone can get plugged in really easily with us. It's something that we are growing, and it's awesome to see the growth and awesome to see the parents to be able to go to church, enjoy things, and us to be able to provide those opportunities for our participants here during the church time. We have multiple individuals registered with the class, and we're trying to work towards getting buddies to go with them to their age appropriate classes as well, and to experience things with their typical peers. And so that's been great. And we have a wide range of age that attend. We have, I think the youngest we have right now is maybe in kindergarten, or pre-K. And then I think the oldest participant we have might be right at 32 or 33.
Wow.
Mhm.
Let's see. How can a visit to the day program be scheduled? What is a typical age of day program participants? My son is not straight up out of high school. Not straight out of high school. He's 28.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. You can schedule a tour and come take a look at what we have going on, and meet with us for that by emailing us. Like I said, schedule that. It's real easy to do, and we're real flexible. And then when it comes to age, we are 18 and up. All of our participants are out of high school that are attending, and so that's typically when you're going to be available to attend anyways. But we take any ages. Like I said, our oldest participant with our day program, I think currently is around 51.
Wow.
Mhm.
Let's see. Okay, are there any success stories that you're willing to share?
Ooh, that's a hard question. Um, there are so many. There's so many good ones. Honestly, I don't know. And they go so far back to sometimes even not with Equip, just with things I've seen, and so many of them involve just the individual and the great things they've achieved. But honestly, I think it'd be impossible just to pick one.
Right.
I've worked with some amazing people, and I've had the pleasure of getting to know so many incredible individuals that I feel very blessed to have
Right.
been even in their lives when they were achieving so much. And we've been blessed to work with those individuals and their families, and um, we believe that the work they're doing is amazing, and that they're going to continue to do great work to benefit their community and benefit themselves.
Mhm. Let's see. For community activities, does Thrive have accessible transportation?
Right now, we have a minivan that we have purchased. It was our first big purchase, I guess. So very excited to have that. And we travel around a good bit. And we are in the process of looking at other vehicles. We do not have one that is wheelchair accessible at this time, but it is something that will be on our list of things that we want to purchase in the near future.
Gotcha. Everything starts out with a minivan.
I know, and I've actually kind of fallen in love with it. I hate to say that. I don't think I could drive it every day, but I do love it.
Let's see. Okay, have y'all done any like events or anything?
Yeah, we have we've
Oh,
done a few big
y'all.
events.
That's that's
We actually
interesting.
have our career expo that we do. Now, this is just for those students in school, and it's a
Mhm.
partnership with ADRS and Voc Rehab. And our career expo is this Thursday. And what we'll have at this event is 21 speakers from different career fields talking about what it's like to work in those positions, from required
Yeah.
education to their expected pay that you could start with, and the ins and outs. Like I told you, someone wants to work with animals. Well, do they know those things about it? Well, having these career fields there, they can talk about, hey, if you want to go into welding, that's awesome. But
Right.
welding, you have to work in conditions that are hot, that are
Mhm.
cold, that might burn you. And it's not easy work. It's dirty work. But it can be a great trade. And so, working with those students, it's great for them to get to hear it. And we provide those opportunities to be able to talk in a more private setting, so that they can actually hear more about it rather than just go booth to booth. And so I think we have roughly 300 or 400 students that will probably be in attendance this Thursday. And
Wow.
our program Thrive, all the participants there are going to be a part of the event as well, and they're going to get to go and listen to all these different careers. And then we hold a mock interview day each year, and that's a great event. We love doing that. We have a lot of local businesses come out and assist with it. We have roughly 23 to 25 schools that participate. They send their students out and they get to practice interviews with people that actually interview. And we've actually had a few job offers come from it, which is really amazing.
Pretty
But it
cool.
is one of those things that's rare, but when it happens, it's a huge celebration.
It's really cool.
Mhm.
Okay, is there anything else that you personally would like to talk about?
I don't think there's anything specific, but I want to thank you again, Sarah, for having me on.
You're
This has
welcome.
been a cool experience, nerve-wracking for me. I'm not used to doing these type interviews,
It's
but I
okay.
do appreciate you reaching out and persuading me to do this. And once again, if anybody wants to get plugged in, I guess with Equip, feel free to reach out to us through our website or through our email at info@equipservices.org. And
Gotcha.
so we'd love to have anybody reach out and talk to us. And if we can't provide something, we're happy to point you in directions of people that can.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sounds good. Clifton, the tech guy, he just put the email in the chat.
Awesome.
Let's
Thank you,
see.
Clifton.
Is there anything else? No. So I think we are good.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for letting me do this.
Of
I
course.
actually learned quite a bit.
Good. Well,
Like
if you ever want to come
like
visit, please do.
I will actually be in Birmingham a couple weeks.
Okay. Come on.
Yeah, so I might. We'll see.
All right. That sounds good.
All right, thank you for letting me interview you.
Of course. Thanks, Sarah. Hope you have a
All right,
great day.
you too.
See ya.
Bye, guys.